You can also listen to us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/theclockcleaners.
Hello and welcome to the Clock Cleaners Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Keith.
And today we're recapping Raw from January. July 3rd.
Yes.
January.
Close. 80-degree weather, January. Doesn't really add up here.
Global warming.
True.
Yeah, so.
But, so Raw. The go-home show to Great Balls of Fire.
It's the best name for a pay-per-view ever, right?
Yes. Which Dean was very confused at who made the name during the Miz and Heath Slater match. It's pretty funny.
Yep.
We open the show with Enzo coming out, and he kind of cut a promo on everything that's transpired within the last couple weeks with Cass, and, he kind of said that over the last 5 years, I believe they said that he's been getting his ass kicked, and Cass didn't have his back.
Well, he said that Cass was right behind him.
Yeah, but he didn't have his back.
But he didn't have his back, yeah. So suggesting that he kind of just watched while he was getting his...
Yeah.
Or watched when he was getting beat up on.
Yeah, and pretty much said that, he's been beat up all this time. What's the worst thing you're going to do to me? Beat me up? I'm just going to get right back up.
It's true. He's one of the toughest guys in the WWE, according
in quite
to
some time,
Enzo.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he kind of went on about being confident. I guess because he knows who he is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this was a really good promo though.
Yeah, it was again like everything we've seen the last couple weeks from between him, Cass, and Carmella. Everything has kind of been heartfelt. It's
you really believe that they mean what they say,
right? Yeah.
And so my thought is that depending on how this match goes,
which yes, at this point in time they announced the Cass versus Enzo match at Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, so depending on how this match goes, this could be actually really good for the two of them.
Yeah.
Because we kind of established that Cass is more than capable of hanging by himself. Mm-hmm. And Enzo, we were the ones who weren't really sure if he was going to be able to cut it.
It's true.
So there's definitely potential.
Yeah, what did Enzo say? He said Cass was a 7-foot catchphrase that he made or something like that.
Yes, a 7-foot catchphrase that I created.
Yeah. So that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And he said something about, I hope the shirt you come out wearing says Casshole. Or
saying
like that.
His new merch better say Casshole. And then he goes back up the ramp.
Yeah. Like I said to you yesterday, the crowd was actually paying attention to it, and then after it happened, he got a pretty big pop. So
everyone's behind Enzo.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny because a lot of people talking about how they're
tired of their
gimmick. I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
But or at least like the general internet populace says that. But the crowds are always into it. Mm-hmm. And Enzo.
When we went, they got a huge pop.
Yeah, Enzo's super over.
Yeah.
So, but it's really good.
Yeah. Right after Enzo had left the ring, we cut to backstage segment with Charlie and Cass, and Cass was basically saying that Enzo can walk the walk, talk the talk, but he can't walk the walk.
Yeah.
He said, on Sunday, I'm going to break his leg so he can't walk.
Yeah. You know how we were saying that they were doing very good? This was not very good on Cass's part. He seemed very scripted.
Yeah. Well,
I know.
It's his first time really doing it by himself.
Well, no, but that's the thing, though. When he attacked Enzo, the main event of Raw that week, that was good.
Right, but they were out in front of the crowd. He had Enzo technically there.
Maybe he felt more comfortable.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. But this was very, very mechanical, and it wasn't...
Which is kind of what we were afraid of, because that's Cass's weak point, is his mic skills, I would say.
No, he kind of proved that he could go by himself when he had that short solo, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that was back in NXT. Oh,
no, that was last year.
When Enzo got hurt. Yeah.
So, anyway, he finishes talking or threatening Enzo, and then out of nowhere-ish.
It's like a monkey flying off a tree.
Enzo comes in and attacks him. Yeah. And they have to get broken up by like the security and the
Adam Pearce, right? I think he was there.
Yeah, and probably other people too.
Yeah.
But
Or was he there for the Lesnar?
no, I think that was the case.
Yeah.
With them. So, but it was a good way to start the show. That's for sure.
I mean they've been building up, and which I'm guessing is this might be a one and done feud.
I think it depends on how they
the
book
match
it.
goes. Yeah.
But I feel like for the most part they're actually giving a lot of spotlight to this, which is a little surprising.
It is.
Because you'd think a feud like this, normally speaking, would be like a kind of like pushed under the rug type deal.
Yeah.
But I guess they really don't feel like a lot of their feuds right now are that important, maybe.
Well, I mean, this has been going on for what? A couple weeks now, 4 weeks?
Yeah. Well, it's been going on longer than that, technically.
Yeah.
Because they started getting attacked more than a month ago.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it before Extreme Rules?
Well, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, because like they don't really do too much with Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins stuff.
No, and we will get to that after.
Yeah, and then it just feels like the Joe Lesnar like feud isn't really getting the exposure you'd expect.
I think it has, but like I said, there's only you can do with Lesnar.
Yeah, but it's just funny because there's never been a case where it ended the show.
Right.
So, which is weird.
But it's also the first time in a while, anyway, that Lesnar hasn't been the dominant one.
Yeah, no. The entire Goldberg feud, he was not the dominant one.
Oh, yeah. I try to repress that memory that it even.
I was gonna say that just happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on when we get to that.
Up next, we had, I believe, the only women's match of the night.
Duh.
Yeah.
Four of them were in it, so obviously.
Yes. It was Sasha and Bayley versus Alexa and Nia.
Mm-hmm.
So I think probably quarter of the way through the match, Nia pushed Bayley off the ring steps into the barricade.
Yeah, and she got
And then
knocked
we
out.
gone to commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And then during the commercial break, I guess she threw her back into the barricade.
Mm-hmm.
And she was apparently escorted to the back by referees or something like that.
Yeah,
So when we came back to from commercial, it was Nia and Bliss versus Banks in basically a handicap match.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was kind of it was pretty much.
What?
Oh yeah, that's great. That's right. No, because I couldn't remember exactly how it went, but it was with it was pretty much the heels were dominating.
For the most part, because it was 2-on-1.
Yeah. And then eventually, Nia gets knocked out of the ring,
and then
Alexa Bliss
gets put into the Banks team.
Yeah, and then that's the end of the match.
That was it.
Not
a huge surprise.
No, and it's kind of weird the way that they kind of just threw this tag match together, because it always feels weird when Nia Jax is teaming with somebody.
Yeah,
because it feels like she shouldn't be. Yeah, I mean, like Emma would have been a better heel partner for Alexa Bliss.
But Bliss and Nia have the, I guess the backstory still of.
Well, see, but with all the stuff that's been going on, you'd think that Nia wouldn't want to team with her.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. They kind of make her character one-dimensional, like she's trying to be friends with Alexa still because she's holding the title and she still wants her. Yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
It's
she's still holding on to hope that she'll be able to get that match.
Yeah, because of Bliss is kind of just stringing her by, basically.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, not really groundbreaking things.
No, it's the women's division's been really stale lately.
Yeah.
So until something good happens, I guess we're kind of just going through the motions.
Yeah. But
anyway, up next was there's a backstage segment with Kurt Angle playing on his phone again.
He holds it weird.
Well,
maybe it's just because of how big his hands and neck are.
Maybe.
It just looks odd.
Yeah. So Braun comes up, and he wants to know what's going to happen if Roman can't make it to Great Balls of Fire.
I want more competition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because last week he threw the reins in the back of the ambulance, right?
Yeah, well, he threw him into the ambulance, literally, and then into the back.
So obviously he doesn't know who he's dealing with because Roman Reigns is a superhero.
Yes. Well.
So anyway, Kurt assures Braun that
Yeah.
Reigns will be there.
Yeah, because Braun was like, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but from what I've heard, he's not making it.
Yeah. So anyway, Braun then informs Kurt that he wants some competition tonight.
Yeah.
And he said something about him being better than Foley, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
He said, you may be better than Foley, but I still want more competition. Something like that.
Yeah.
So. Up next, we had the awaited, I guess, Brock and Joe interview.
Yeah, it was,
it was just the
promo
promo.
video.
Okay,
it was
yes.
the recap of all the stupid crap that's been going on for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they waste time with stuff like this. Because there's literally like a 4 or 5 minute long video.
You gotta think most of the Lesnar fans are probably very casual fans.
That's true.
Not any. I mean, I don't think the hype train for Lesnar is really with the internet crowd as much.
Well, yeah.
I mean, how many people want to watch a show where your champion is not present
on the show?
Yeah,
I guess that's true. Yeah, this was
frustrating.
Yeah, this one was kind of. It felt like a waste of time, but whatever.
We don't write this crap.
It's true. We only watch it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So up next is I believe the only cruiserweight segment.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was Neville fought someone, right?
He did. Mustafa.
Yeah. So anyway, it was Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar.
Yeah, since apparently this was completely closed last week and the week before that and the week before that.
Because before the match, Dar he does a promo where he says after this he'll be done with him for sure, and he wishes that Alicia Fox was there with him.
Yeah.
And then, or she couldn't make it, one or the other, and then.
Did Cedric cut a promo too? Or was that last week on 205?
That was last week, I believe.
Yeah. So did she come out Monday or was it?
No, she came out on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched 205 Sunday night. Or Monday. It was Monday before I watched Raw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
everything just
melds together.
Yeah, especially after the 8 hours of the New Japan show over the weekend.
Yeah, I don't understand how you did that, but
hey,
whatever.
It was good. It was worth it.
Yeah. So
it's nice when there's not an overproduced product. Or that's just
it's true.
Didn't have to deal about storylines. Didn't need to know what was going on. Just enjoyed the wrestling.
Yeah. But yeah, Alicia Fox comes out during the match and just tries to distract Cedric, and that's when he ducks whatever Dar's trying to do and hits him with the lumbar check, and then that's the end of the match.
I think that was it.
And then I guess
this is it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's gonna keep going.
Yeah, because last week on 205, Dar attacked Cedric after Cedric's match with.
Yeah, he fought
Daivari. Daivari.
Yeah.
Or Daivari actually got the win.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So next up, we had another Miz TV.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of these.
Yeah. And they were going over the controversial Miz TV from last week, which is funny because I think more people are starting to speak up about it, like backstage wrestlers and stuff like that.
What, of how
terrible it was?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because some people liked it, which is weird. But whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, he was talking about Dean representing the Big Baller brand. Basically, kind of saying that Dean was wasted talent because when he came here, he had such promise. And
he was going to be the leader of the Shield or whatever, but then he ended up just being Goofy Dean.
Yep, and he said basically it's because he can't handle the success, which is why he didn't make the Intercontinental title great like The Miz did.
Yes, and then Dean comes out, right?
Yeah, and he's like, Miz, you think you got me all figured out? I think they talked about a rematch. Did they, or was that until Dean came out?
No, I think when Dean came out, they were talking about how, you want to talk, let's fight now, or whatever.
Right, yeah. He said, you think I'm going to just come down to the ring and attack you when you got two guys with you and you're all going to beat me up?
Yeah. So. And then Heath Slater and Rhino come out.
Yeah, I was confused at this, but...
Yeah. But Slater makes the claim that he was the last person to pin The Miz, because he pinned The Miz during the tag team match they had last week.
Six-man.
Yeah. And then Angle comes out.
No, they won last week.
Who?
The heels.
Oh, and that must have been
the week. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it was
Was that
sometime.
during the bear match? Could that have been it?
Yeah, that's when it was.
Yeah,
I just couldn't remember exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So so Angle comes out and says,
Dean, you'll get your rematch at Great Balls, or you'll get your title shot.
What he had said was that, like, I won't decide between the two. How about you fight both of them for the title?
Oh,
and
right,
then they put Slater to be the challenger on that night on Monday, and then on Sunday, whoever won on Raw was going to face them at Great Balls of Fire.
Yes. Yeah.
So Slater got his title shot on that night.
Right. So yeah, this was a good match.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good, actually.
Well, especially since the majority of SmackDown matches that Heath and Rhino were in, it was very short. We did not get much of Heath Slater in the ring.
Well, if he did, he was getting beat up, and then
That's true.
The way they won for the most part was
Rhino just
hot
came
tag,
in.
and then Rhino was Heath Slater's finisher. Again, like on 205 Live last week, there was a wrestler wrestling in a suit, which is, I guess, a new thing they're going for, because The Miz was still wearing his suit from Miz TV.
Right. Well, yeah, because Angle said the match was going to happen right now.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it was a really good match actually for
absolutely
for what it was.
Yeah, The Miz split his pants.
Yes, he did in the middle of the match,
Yeah.
and the commentary made a reference to it. I can't remember exactly what they said.
Which is funny because Dean was on commentary at this
during
the match, and he had made a statement like, "Great Balls of Fire. Whose idea was it for this pay-per-view?" And I think it was this week when he's like, "Oh, this is great at commentary. You got candy and stuff like that." And he's like, "No, those are cough drops." And he's like, "Oh, these are good."
Oh, Dean.
Yep.
Silly Dean.
But pretty sure the Miztourage, they got involved, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there was a point in time where I think Axel tried to jump up into the ring.
Yeah.
And Rhino came over and attacked him, or I guess stopped him from trying to. And then Bo Dallas was running away from him, and then he almost ran into Maurice.
Right, yes.
And then they started attacking Rhino. Heath Slater got distracted, and then Miz hit the skull crushing finale, and then that was the end of the match.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it was good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And there was a lot of points during the match where you felt like there was a small chance that Slater was going to win. He got a lot of offense in.
Yeah.
He hit like a
powerbomb off the top?
No, it was like
I'm trying to think.
it was just like a power slam maybe off the top.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Yeah. So he rolled him up a couple times, got a lot of two counts.
yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's this whole storyline has been good with the addition of Heath Slater and Rhino and
The
Curtis
social
Axel
anarchists.
and Bray Wyatt, who lost weight and cut his beard a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's funny because they took a feud that seemed like it was going to get boring, and then they rejuvenated by switching brands somehow.
Yeah.
And then they just keep on adding things to it, and it just keeps on working. It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing because usually they drop the ball on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, up next is another backstage segment with Apollo and Titus O'Neil.
So we haven't seen Apollo in probably 2 weeks. Maybe
It's probably been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it's been mostly with Titus. It's been the Kiro Tozawa.
Yeah.
But yeah, Titus is telling Apollo that he should face Braun, and then Apollo's like, "No,
Crazy?
have you seen that guy?" And then Titus goes, "No one had ever heard of Kalisto until Braun Strowman beat him up."
Right. It's true.
Which is
This
funny.
Great advertising for the Titus brand.
Yeah, which is funny because Kalisto teamed with Apollo Crews against Dolph Ziggler not too long ago. So Apollo,
Handicap match.
yeah, again, where the heel was by himself.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Anyway.
Next, we had the world premiere of The Shattered Truth.
Mm-hmm.
So Goldust basically came out and sat in his director's chair in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Talked some nonsense, and then we cut to footage on the Titantron, which was everything that was captured on the video recorder from last week.
Yeah, it was like cuts between the actual raw footage and stuff that the cameraman was doing. Mm-hmm. So I was hoping for something better from the Golden Truth splitting up, but we kind of got crap.
But
whatever.
But yeah, we go pan back to the ring, and R-Truth is waiting behind Goldust eating popcorn.
He was standing behind him eating popcorn.
And I guess Goldust realized by looking up at the screen that he was there, but then R-Truth attacked him, and that was that.
Yeah, and so
like you said, meh.
That
could have been better.
I forget. Did they announce this going to be a match at?
I don't believe
pay-per-view?
No.
So they're just going to keep on doing silly things like this?
I'm pretty sure. I don't believe there is a match. But up next, we had Kurt Angle backstage with Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro.
Yes.
And they are making a 30-minute Iron Man match at the pay-per-view between Sheamus and Cesaro and the Hardys.
Yeah, for the most part, really, they don't do tag team Iron Man matches.
I believe they commented that it was the first one.
No, what they said was it's very rare for it to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's happened a couple of times, but not not
you're
very
right.
often.
Yeah.
So.
But I feel like they didn't have a time when it happened before. Like they didn't say anything.
They can't remember, but they know it did happen.
Sure. Yeah, it's not on there, right?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
But
yeah, so then Kurt Angle said, I guess Cesaro made the comment that he wanted Finn Balor, right?
Well, Cesaro said something about wanting competition as well, and then I think he suggested that he fight Braun, and then Cesaro goes,
okay.
Cesaro goes, I think I'd rather fight Finn Balor.
That's what it was.
Which is kind of like, because a couple weeks ago they had the 6-man tag match.
Right, yeah.
And
which I was excited to hear this match.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because Cesaro's really good.
Yes.
And I guess the idea of putting him with Finn is because eventually the two of them are going to split up anyway, so it kind of makes Cesaro look good by himself.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Because the rumor is that Sheamus will be out all summer due to filming.
Although, technically, about half the summer's over now anyway.
I guess you can say that.
Well, you can say that. I know technically speaking, summer starts in the end of June.
But 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. But the summer, officially kind of starts, or I guess unofficially starts in
June,
mid-May, early June,
after Memorial Day. I guess.
Yeah,
it's fair.
So,
but yeah. So up next, for some unknown reason, we got a rematch from last week. Well, no, it was because this was Seth Rollins versus Kurt Hawkins. It was Kurt Hawkins, I guess, wanted a rematch because the crowd didn't believe in him last week, so that's why he didn't win.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Kurt Hawkins, nobody believes in you.
Again, this is what you said last week, another match to show Seth Rollins' finisher.
Yeah. Well, you know what this is hinting at? He's going to lose on Sunday.
Could.
If you have to get in all your exposure on Raw.
I guess so.
Or they want to make it viable that he wins by... So I guess there's no cut and dry.
No, I don't think so.
But, that kind of... That kind of gives me an idea that maybe that's what they're going for.
It's possible, but yeah, after the match, Seth cuts a promo on Wyatt. So, here's what I'm trying to figure out.
What?
I'm just trying to figure out my thought process.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm so bored of Seth as a face because I don't feel like he's very good. I don't.
It's
script. It doesn't
he's
feel
generic
right.
baby face. There's no detail to his character. There's nothing different about him.
I felt it was the same way with his feud with Joe. Didn't really.
It's not that this is new.
No. I know.
He's been like that since he started being a face. Yeah. Really, his work with Jericho and Owens is really the only reason it was good was because of Jericho and Owens.
Yeah.
Because Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe are not good heels to feud with if you're not gonna do your part.
You're not carrying your load. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, and then the other part is obviously Wyatt because it's you build yourself up to be a god, yet you lose every freaking match.
It's garbage. Garbage, I says.
If he was better, then it might be better.
Yeah, I think that Wyatt needs it's because normally, if the heel's strong, the feud will work. Mm-hmm. But Wyatt needs a good face to carry him. He didn't have that with Orton.
No, Orton just was mailing it in, like we said.
And he doesn't have it with Seth.
No.
Like when he feuded with Cena a couple of years ago, Cena could carry himself,
Right.
obviously. So that was a pretty good feud.
Mm-hmm.
Even Roman's more interesting than Seth is right now.
Yeah.
Because you kind of...
Braun's carrying his weight, too.
Well, no, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Because Roman at least has the awareness that the crowd doesn't like him.
Oh, he's
and he
feeding off
acknowledges it. Whereas Seth, they're going to be behind him. There's not going to be no real...
Yeah.
There's going to be no real character to his character.
Yeah, motivation for him to
do anything that's not cut and dry.
Right.
So, but Seth Rollins, great wrestler.
Needs to be a heel.
Yeah. Or a better face. One or the other.
I guess, but I mean, I don't know.
So, all right. So
up next we had the interview with Joe and Lesnar this time.
Yeah, this was bad. It was very awkward.
Most of these interviews are awkward where they're
not in the same room, but they are in the same room.
Yeah.
Except for we know for sure that they weren't in the same room.
Well, unless he walked all the way around.
I was about to say that. Unless he walked around in a circle.
Yeah. Or the door had two entrances.
Yeah. Because they did that thing where they cut the screen in half, and one person's on one side and the other person's on the other side, and it was Joe and then on the other side was Lesnar and Heyman.
Yeah. And Joe was just kind of saying the same thing, that what he did to Heyman, and Lesnar was kind of like, yeah, but you're fighting me, not Heyman.
Yeah. Joe also insisted that he not answer any more questions. He wants to ask questions. And that's when he asked Heyman about how it felt
to be.
And then Lesnar said, "You're not talking to him, you're talking to me." And then there's a lot of catty back and forth nonsense.
Oh, I mean, this is partially the whole reason that Lesnar has a mouthpiece.
Was because he's not good at the whole talking thing?
Yes. Which is funny, because when him and Kurt Angle had their feud back in the day...
Things are a lot different now.
Yeah, I know, but I guess he's been so sheltered, so he doesn't do it
exactly.
anymore. Yeah.
So,
and in UFC, I'm sure
there's no talking in UFC.
You just have the interview after the fight.
And that you don't need...
The weigh-in and stuff like that, yeah.
But... So, a lot of the match... Or, not the match. A lot of the interview... was Lesnar going, "Oh, come on, I'm not afraid of you.
Right.
Come on, I'm not afraid of you. You want to fight now? You want to fight now?" And then eventually Joe got mad, and then he went looking for Lesnar.
Yep.
So either he walked out
where
he
room
was,
and walked all the way around.
No matter what, he ended up finding Lesnar's room, and then they kind of got separated without actually confronting each other, and then that was the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was very bad.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah, it doesn't add to anything.
No.
The only thing that you can possibly say is that you're going to bring in casual fans who like Lesnar,
right?
Because he's going to on the show. But that's about it. There's really nothing really to it.
I'm sure it would bring in more fans if he actually wrestled.
It's true, but he's never going to wrestle on TV ever again. So
no. Up next, we had a match we've never seen before. In Neville versus Mustafa Ali. That was a joke. We've seen it like 4 or 5 times. They wrestled the night after WrestleMania during the Beach Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So they've wrestled on 205 before. It doesn't matter because they're both very good.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's funny because I don't remember that. Yeah. So this is one of the cases where it's been long enough that I couldn't actually remember.
Fair enough.
Because usually they'll do it like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks in a row.
No. But yeah, no, this was a decent match. Mustafa Ali got more offense in than he normally gets when he faces Neville.
Well, I think they're kind of, for a while, they were building and building and building on Neville.
Yeah, and he was on the Neville level, and now he's starting to plateau.
If anything, he's kind of like, I think they're getting ready to take the belt off of him.
Yeah.
So they're starting to bring him down a little bit.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, because the best way to make it feasible for someone to lose is if they start showing
weaknesses.
Yeah. So that might be what they're going for. I'm not sure. I think that Tozawa's going to take that title yet.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, it makes sense that they're trying to make him look a little weaker.
Right.
But of course Neville still wins because he's going to win most of his matches.
Yeah. Mustafa Ali hit it like nasty. Was it a tilt world DDT or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Neville sold it so well.
Yeah. I'm just upset we didn't see Drew Gulak. Have him come out with his megaphone.
That's true. They could have just done it, but then people are like, why is this guy out?
Yeah.
Wait, there's a 205 Live show?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the Hulu version, you wouldn't know.
It's true. But yeah, after the match, Neville calls out Tozawa, to which Tozawa comes out and just goes, "Ah!"
Yeah.
Every time
that was really
Neville
funny.
would say something to him.
Neville was getting mad.
He was getting mad, yeah. Is that all you can say, boy?
They didn't say boy.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
He's not Bray Wyatt. You're using your Bray Wyatt voice.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, he kind of psychs him out, and then he hits him with a kick.
Yeah, I think Tozawa got in the ring with him, and then he kicked Neville, and
then Neville ran away.
Yeah, basically.
He looked legitimately worried.
Who, Neville?
Yes. He seemed concerned.
He had lose face on?
Yes, he had lose face on. All right. So up next, there was I guess a promo where Bray Wyatt was in the desert.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Maybe they left him there.
I hope so. It's all garbage.
Like I said, you can't get behind somebody when they keep losing.
Mm-hmm.
No reason.
You're right.
That's why jobbers don't make it.
It's true. That's very true. Actually, that's not even 100% true because there's been plenty of jobbers who ended up being successful. So,
yeah, I guess.
Actually, speaking of a jobber that's successful, shows up later on in the show. Well, two of them.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Anyway,
are you talking about the Hardys?
Yes, I am talking about the Hardys.
Which we didn't get a Hardy match this week.
No, but they're on the show.
Oh, and Scott Dawson fought Kalisto on main event this past week.
Really?
Yeah,
that's weird.
And he lost.
Seriously?
Yes.
It's a good thing that doesn't matter. Main event, I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's not on TV.
Yeah.
It's only on Hulu, I believe.
But yeah, the Bray Wyatt thing is him talking about Rollins and being a god and all that stupid nonsense.
Nothing that needs to be said.
Yeah, I know, but still trying to help a little bit.
If you really want to see it, go and watch it.
Yeah. So up next is a backstage interview where Charlie asked Alexa Bliss if she's worried about Sasha on Sunday because she ended up winning her match earlier in the night.
Alexa was like, I let her make me submit. It was a false sense of hope.
Yep.
She's got a chance on Sunday.
Exactly.
Charlie's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's all mind games according to Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. Which still strikes me as weird that wrestlers that aren't wrestling are in their gear. But that's, I guess, some sort of protocol.
Yeah, I'm assuming they go and they get depending unless instructed otherwise. I think that's what they do.
Yeah, because I think the Big Show was complaining about that.
Well, I think his big thing was just being on at
there.
TV if you're not going to. But yeah, like I know a few years ago, John Cena did a promo and he said something about it's like, look at me, I'm coming down to the ring, I'm not wrestling, but I got knee pads on. So I don't remember the context of the of the promo, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah. So up next we had the Finn and Cesaro match, which just
it should have been the main event.
Yeah,
it was a really good match.
This is hands down the best match.
It's probably been one of the better matches on Raw in a while.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. So. The Hardys were on commentary, which Matt seemed to be very chatty.
So they come out after, like they don't just walk out; they get the music and everything. Yeah. But it was really funny because they pan over, and then Michael Cole, I think, says, "Oh, we didn't know you were coming." But there's two chairs sitting right next to Booker T.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's so funny. But yeah, during this match, they let Finn and Cesaro go for a while. Yeah. A lot of good spots.
Oh yeah,
really good. The two of them are great. And then Elias Sampson comes down. Mm-hmm. They timed this poorly because you can see Finn sitting in the corner looking around.
Yeah.
Before Samson is actually playing the guitar, I think, when he comes down. So he's like looking to the left, looking to the right, and then he starts playing. So it was pretty funny how like they mistimed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he comes down, and then he kind of lets Sheamus distract
No, then the Hardys. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the Hardys didn't come down until they had actually interfered.
Is that yeah?
So
is that when Samson grabbed Finn's leg?
Yes, I think Sheamus distracted him or distracted the ref.
Right.
And then Finn was up against the ropes or running up against the ropes, and then Samson grabbed his legs.
And that's when the Hardys came.
That's
down.
when the Hardys came
All
down.
All hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Cesaro ended up getting rolled back in the ring. I don't even know if it was by Finn.
It was.
It was?
Yeah. What happened was he hit the shotgun dropkick into the barricade on Cesaro.
Yes. Okay.
Cesaro, bounced up, and then he got thrown back into the ring. He hit a coup de grace, and that was the end of the match.
Yeah.
It was really good.
So,
what?
No, I said, could this be a possible feud with Sheamus being out?
Oh, I hope so. That'd be great. Because Cesaro's been doing good heel work.
Yeah.
So if they come up with a halfway decent motivation, it'd be good.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be fine. I mean, like you said, he's been doing good heel work. But if they decide to turn him face, I wouldn't mind seeing him in the Miz.
Well, that'd be good too. When they were having the Fatal 4-Way feud with the IC title last year, that was good too.
Yeah.
Cesaro was part of that when he first came back.
That's right.
So
I feel like it could go either way. If they kept him heel, it would be fine. But if they turned him face, I feel like the fans would still get right behind him.
Oh, absolutely. Cesaro's probably one of the most appreciated wrestlers on the main roster.
By fans.
Yes, not by Vince. Vince doesn't like him for some reason. Anyway, up next is what shouldn't have been
the main
event.
But it was.
I understand why they did it.
Right.
So they cut to the ring.
Yeah, and then the ambulance just starts backing in.
Yeah.
Then Strowman comes out.
Yeah.
Kind of looks at it and goes, okay. And then heads to the ring.
Yeah.
He said there's a few things in the world that I like more than hurting Roman Reigns. Then he, threatens him if he shows up on Sunday, he's going to...
Yes, because he's still under the assumption that he's not going to be there.
Yeah. He called out challengers.
Yeah, because he says that, where's my competition?
Yeah.
And then Titus O'Neil's music plays, and then he says that normally he'd go down there and smack the taste out of his mouth, but he has a better idea. And then he has Apollo Crews come out, and then Apollo proceeds to get his ass handed to him.
And then at one point, he got thrown out of the ring, and then Titus, what did Titus do? Rip off his jacket and started getting into Apollo's face, hyping him up.
Yeah.
And then
like, what are you doing, man?
And then Apollo gets in the ring and he hits a couple of good moves. And
then that's it.
I guess Strowman was laying down, right? And Crews was going to go for the backflip.
Yeah.
And then
he
Braun
kicked him halfway across the ring.
And
that was
Apollo
fantastic.
landed on his head and neck area. It was like right in
That was crazy.
Yeah.
He's laying down. Apollo goes for what is the standing shooting star press?
No, it's just standing moonsault.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. And then as Apollo is in the air, Braun kicks him into the ropes. It was
looked
great.
So nasty.
Oh my god, it was great. So after that, believe it or not, Apollo wasn't quite up to fighting anymore.
Yeah.
So
Braun hit him with one power slam.
Yeah,
and
then he went to the pin. No, he went for a pin, and then he faked it.
Too. Yeah. And then he did it again.
Mm-hmm.
Did the same thing, and then finally pinned him after one more.
Yeah. So yeah, that was bad.
So then
that's when he took him into the stands, right? After the match? Or did he take Titus into the stands?
No, he took him into the stands, but I think Titus came into the ring.
Yeah. Well, after the match, yeah.
And then Titus got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that's when they started going into the crowd, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then Braun throws
Apollo into the back of the ambulance.
And apparently Strowman has like some sort of contractual agreement that whenever he smacks the back of the ambulance, it just must leave.
Well, of course.
Because he did it, 2 or 3 times?
Yes. And the third time, they started playing the siren, I think.
Yeah.
But it wasn't moving.
No.
Then he goes to see what's up with the driver.
Mm-hmm. He just looks in and just looks confused, and then he opens the door.
And then he gets smacked in the face by Roman.
Yeah.
And then it's so dumb. So they have the two of them go at it, and then eventually at one point Roman spears Braun off of the stage into a table.
Yeah.
And then Strowman gets up, and then the show ends with
him kind of just
looking confused.
Yeah, kind of laying on the hood of the ambulance.
Yeah,
leaning against
Roman looks shot, so he's like, "What do I got to do to get him down?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the show ended.
Yeah.
So basically, what they're doing is they're saying, "Okay, let's make it so it's like not 100% sure that Roman can conquer him.
Yeah,
it'll make him look even better when he wins."
Yep, pretty much.
So yeah, that's what's going on right now.
That was Raw. Wasn't a bad go home show.
Yeah, that was stronger than most.
Yeah,
and it didn't feel like they were just trying to get everything over with.
No.
It felt like things are being accentuated as opposed to just like crapped on.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah. So that was our Raw review.
If you liked what you saw here, please like, share, and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.